Hello, 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 hello. We are June 7th, 2022. Welcome to Marketing Made Easy. My name is Joey Ragona. Good to see you. And if you are here, by the way, live, let us know by typing in hashtag live into the chat. And hopefully you can hear me, that we've got all of the audio working correctly. That would be amazing if you can hear me. And I'm going to obviously bring in my good buddy, Scott Vogel, who is in the green room. I haven't messed up with I haven't touched any of the audio. So can you say hi, Scott, or something like that so we can check that if your audio is working?
Because the last couple of weeks my audio hasn't been working, and I'm looking at me speaking and I'm lagged from my video and audio. So let's see if I'm going to go. And it's weird because there we go. Facebook finally said that we're live. Now that
Oh, there we go. Okay, so I hear something. So, hey, Carolyn, good to see you. Nice to see you here.
Hello,
Or Caroline. Is it Caroline? Yeah, I went to Carolyn or Caroline. Sorry if I pronounced.
Caroline. Which one is it, Caroline? Is it line or lid? No.
Nice to see you, Veronica. Nice to see you here. Thank you for being here live. It is so cool to have you here. Can you guys hear Scott? Just want to make sure if you can just put yes in.
Hello, Veronica. Can you hear me? And let's see, Facebook is all kinds of wonky tonight. And I'm looking at, because usually it shows both Facebooks showing up.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It was interesting. I was just reading Caroline's post in the group just before we went live. So how interesting.
There we go. I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. They're saying you're a little bit low, so I'm gonna turn you up a little bit. That's okay. Well, at least they can hear you, so that's good. Thank you, Veronica, for letting us know. Yeah. So yeah, Caroline had a really great post in the group about dream clients and what they're all about, and I loved. We just love talking about this stuff, and we just had a conversation about another person who.
Right.
What's the word? Is transforming into loving dream client? Like, how would you describe it without giving any details or anything like that away?
Transforming into a dream business owner who can then attract dream business clients, because the prior version of this individual couldn't attract dream clients because you have to be a dream. We haven't really talked about this, but you kind of have to be a dream entrepreneur.
A dreampreneur. I just dubbed that. That's mine.
Hey, I don't know. I got 50% going on.
You gave me the inspiration.
Let's go, Daddy. But yeah, you have to show we talk about going after dream clients, but let's face it, if you're a jerk, you're not going to attract dream clients. You want to hang out. I love the way you put it the other day. Somebody's like, well, can you put dream clients in a nutshell? You go, yeah, if you paid your best friend.
Yeah. If your best friend pays you.
If you hung out on a dream island, but nobody liked you, they met your dream client. So you have to be a dreampreneur first. We need to start using that. And then pretty soon it's going to be out there in the world.
Exactly.
You too can be a dreampreneur. How do you be a dreampreneur? And he was not the individual was self-admittedly just not. Now you spoke to him and you talked about dream client, and he's in a place now that he can say, yeah, I like this. I'm in a mindset that I can now accept this. Whereas before he was the anti-avatar of let's build a funnel and let's see how much money we can make. And let's, put as much stuff out and do the deadline sequence and the this and the that, which kind of leads the way into tonight's topic, which if you'd like to introduce to.
We're going to talk about the 7 cardinal rules of the 80-20 sales pro, but I've done a little bit of editing of it, and it comes from Perry Marshall. His book.
He's one of the best marketers out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I love the 80-20 book, And, a lot of the stuff that we talk about, like in Atlas and all these things, are based on the 80-20 rule or the 64-4 rule of doing 4% and all these things. So, hey, good to see you, Lorna. So it's based on that. But what I have done here is I've just edited a couple things. And to preface this, I'll share like I got 2 slides here just to easily follow through what those rules are so everybody can write them down if they want to. But the bolded parts are the pieces that I've changed to align with what you and I have been talking about for 123 episodes now.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. That 123.
Yep, 123. So without further ado, let's do this. The 7
Hi, Kay. Go on, Joe.
the 7 cardinal rules of the 80-20 Sales Pro, edited and updated for heart-centered change makers. So the first rule is no cold, and I've crossed out the original words that Perry says. Not that they're wrong, but I've just updated it for our tribe, like I said. So no cold outreach ever. You should invite only warm dream clients in training. So we'll go through these, and then we'll come back. Or do you want to talk about this, and then we'll come back and share the next one? What do you want to do, Scott? It's up to you.
Let's talk about this one first and then come back to it, because this one, it kind of goes towards the trilogy that we've been talking about as well, which is build a tribe, serve, don't sell, and do it on their time. And, the original, no cold calling ever. You should attempt to sell only to warm leads, to become no cold outreach. I remember when I sold insurance and I had a blast cold calling. I just thought fun. It was a total waste of time because, you have to get 7 no's in order to get a yes. Well, why would you want to go through that? Why would you want to do any cold outreach ever when you can invite dream clients in training and see if they qualify to be a part of you? You had recommended a really great book that I've been reading a little bit each night called The Practice. And Seth Godin talks a lot about that in the book. The Practice is getting out there and being different. He goes way huge into different, but that's a whole nother topic. And I'll see if I can stay on topic. It's tough because why would you ever do something that's difficult, that's cold in itself? Who wants to be cold? And
exactly,
you do an outreach when there's such easier ways to do it. I don't think I've done a cold call since those days in selling insurance, when that was what you had to do to succeed. Is you to open up a book and just call people from a book.
Right.
Talk about intrusive and just a pest.
Yeah. And then the other things there is I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page who may not be a part of Atlas or even in our tribe. I don't talk a lot about dream clients in training in the heart-centered marketing group. Not that I don't want to, just that it never really comes up. But my version of a prospect is I call them dream clients in training. So it's not, and they are curated into the group or into my universe. That's what I call dream clients in training. So it's not leads, like they're not just anybody. They're people who can become a dream client in the future. And I think that is so important for anyone listening to this of how we build this dream business with awesome humans that surround you and charge your batteries, and they connect and align and build relationships with the tribe themselves. And so that's what that means. Is that's why I crossed out the word leads, because I hate that word. I don't want leads. I want dream clients in training. They don't have to buy from me right now, but they're in training.
Well, and Joey, that's part of your whole philosophy and what we've talked about for 123 weeks, and this whole dream client connection and dream client everything and dream client training. And I was thinking today that it's coming time soon to, we'll talk about it in one of the other ones here, but it's almost coming time to thin the group again, because there's so many people joining it. And again, for those people that are on the call, that are watching the replay, #live, #replay, And if you haven't joined the group, go to Heart Centered Marketing Club on Facebook. The link is below there, and definitely join us because Joey's in there sharing all this great stuff and a real way to run a business. And the whole piece here is we're seeing these people come in and they engage and they become involved and they sign up to become a dream client. It's like, well, how does this thing work? Well, how'd you get here? I love when you say, how'd you get here? Well, I watched you were on a thing and you did a thing. And then I joined the group and the thing. And I heard about this thing called Right Marketing Copy or Atlas. And then I joined this and my life changed and this, and I was struggling with this and that. And I love seeing all the new people come in and they're sharing their struggles with mindset and business and, family and this. And like I said, I watched Caroline or Carolyn go from kind of vague to a little bit more specific and a little bit more specific to who do you serve? And Seth Godin talked about that it's,
right.
Just somebody, it's, the so-and-so family in Tennessee who is your dream client, only he doesn't use that language. So,
yeah. And it's funny you said that because I was on a call today. It's been a whirlwind of calls the last couple of weeks, but it's great. And somebody was asking specifically today about joining Atlas in the next one. And they were like, can I ask some questions? Anyway, long story short, they were like asking like, how's it going to go? Or they were asking about like, what am I going to learn? What's the structure and everything else? Or I'm not sure it's going to work for me. I think that's the main key point of what I'm trying to get at here is like, I'm not sure this is going to work for me because I've been promised a lot of other stuff. And it's beautiful because I said, like you just said, well, how did you get here? And by the way, you're going through Atlas as we speak.
right.
And he was like, holy crap. I go, yeah, because it's so meta. Like the reason you're on this call with me right now is because of the thing that I teach in Atlas. So
right.
it's so meta when a dream client in training becomes the dream client. And that's the difference also in my world is that I don't find people. They find us. And they're what I've learned or what I'm really focusing on now is unpacking, okay, who becomes a dream client? And that's the key is it's rare that we find a dream client.
Right.
They become a dream client. And that's the pivotal thing to really unpack, to understand.
That's such a key, crucial element of this. And Joey, because we've been doing this for 123 weeks, and because all of this evolved in the last couple of years, and
right.
watching it happen and watching you do it, and anybody that's in the tribe and anybody that's on the calls, or even if you're not in Atlas yet, or even if you're just in the group and watching this and absorbing it and seeing how it works. If you just watch what happens, somebody comes in the group, they go through, they answer the questions, they get their email, they get the thing, they go into here and that, and then they get to decide. And then we decide if you're not a dream client or dream client in training, well, maybe you need not to be here because you're
right.
taking up X's and O's and bandwidth and internet space that it's not necessary if you're not going to ascend. And it's such a learning experience because when everybody starts to watch what's happening, and as you evolve this, again, there's people that have watched you now for a while who have been part of this, who are part of Atlas, and seeing it happen over and over. And we watch somebody come in and they introduce themselves. And now everybody's like, I don't even get to talk to some people because Ann jumps in and Petra jumps in.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it.
And everybody's in there and helping, and Monica and Wendy, and everyone's helping each other. It's like, just look at what's happened because it's amazing. Like you said, Joey, when we first started, it was you and me talking to each other.
Right. Yeah, so true. Okay, let's go to the next one and then we'll unpack this. We'll come back to these conversations. So the second one is before you offer anything, you must know how much you're willing to invest to get a new dream client. Now, these again, if you're just joining us, I'm crossing out the original words, not because they're bad, because this was like what, back in the, when did he write this book? 80s? I don't know when it was.
80s, I think. Yeah, this is
was it in the 80s? Anyway, so I'm just adapting it to our world where this is how I believe that the language is very important for me, and I know for you too, Scott. So And this is all true. Like, so back in the day, let's talk about this. Like, let's look at the original one. What does this mean, Scott? Before you try to sell anything, you must know how much you're willing to pay to get a new customer.
Well, that to me goes to lifetime value. Is if I'm going to, like I used to say, I would have no qualms getting on an airplane, flying to California to meet with somebody who could potentially hire me and pay me $30,000. I'd invest 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, knowing that. If we look at it on here, it's kind of how much would you pay to? It's like if you gave me $1 and I gave you $2 back, how many dollar bills would you give me? You'd give me as many as you could possibly find. So this, to me, when it was first written, was before you try and sell anything, how much are you willing to invest? So if you're going to make $100 profit on something, would you invest $20? Would you be okay in paying $20 for a lead or $20 for an ad spend or clicks or whatever it was to get a new customer? That's what that means to me.
Right on. And you're absolutely right. And I want
to
after 123, you got to get something right.
Got to get something right after that. And by the way, the book was published in 2013, bro.
Okay, so I was totally off. Anyway, but that shows you how fast the internet works. Is like, to me, like 2013 is like 40 years ago, like in internet years, you know? It's like
years ago. 40 years now. Like dog years, right? Internet years.
So this is what I just want to unpack this a little bit more and add to this, because to me it is the word invest, and we talk a lot about this in Atlas too, where what the word invest is not necessarily about money, even though it could be. But let's take money out of the picture for a second, or paying for ads to bring people in for a second, okay? And investing of your time. And so for anybody listening to this, just do a very quick calculation for us. What would be the first thing you need to figure out or know is how much your time is worth. And I'm going to give you a very simple calculation to figure this out right now. So either take how much you're making right now in your business, or how much you want to make in your business, and divide it by 2,000. And that is how much you're worth per hour. Okay, that's the key. So you can do that now. And if you want to share it, great. If you don't, whatever. But
Joe,
usually...
Would you explain where the 2,000 came from?
Yes. So the 2,000 is the like a 40-hour work week on a normal person with 2 weeks vacation. So that's what it is. Just so everybody knows that. So basically $100,000, you're worth $50 an hour. If you want to make 100 grand, you're worth $50 an hour. Right? I got my math right. Okay. So that means that how much are, and to your point, like if your client is worth whatever, $10,000, how much of your time are you willing to invest in conversations, in helping them on whatever it is to invite that client into your program or whatever it is? That's how this formula or works as well, in terms of how much are you willing to put out in terms of investing of your time to get a new dream client. Any thoughts on that, Scott?
Well, definitely. It is about the investment. We talk about showing up and serving and answering questions and solving problems and putting it out there. I wrote a little script for a very short video on just doing that and going out and saying, what if you put in your calendar once a week? I'd love to see it 5 times a week, but once a week, put in your calendar. And that kind of came from the book Simplify, which I love, when he talked about putting home in his calendar 4 nights a week, because his 3-year-old daughter said, Daddy, are you leaving again? And he was like, I have all these meetings scheduled. What if I scheduled home? And people are like, well, I'm home on Fridays with my family. And he's like, I'm home 4 nights a week. What if you invest time to go into a group or post or do something that was serving, solving a problem, and putting out your ideas, your process, your methods to the world, instead of trying to build a new ad or an ad campaign or spending money? What if you invested your time in going and serving? And Angel calls it a playground. You find a playground background? Is it a group? Is it, ClickFunnels? Is it a PLF? Is it a Kajabi? Is it a YouTube? Where is it that you go and all of a sudden people start to see you? You invest a certain amount of time each week. What if it was 30 minutes a day and did it 3 days a week, 90 minutes, and one person, a dream client, saw you? Happens to you all the time, Joey. Someone's like, hey, I've been watching you for a while, and that's where you invest your time.
Yeah, and you beat me to it because I was just going to do a little bit of calculation. I need a calculator to do it, but based on, let's say that you're helping people in a group or something, or investing an hour in a group 5 days a week, and you're worth $50 an hour, and it took you 3 months to get a client, right? And now you've sold like a $3,000 program. It took you 3 months to do it. You've invested the same amount of time, $3,000 of time to get the client, which you're making no money at all. But what you've done is you've now got this client who has paid for your time, but you've done all this, and this is coming up in some of these slides. You've gained this authoritative fiduciary position in that group that other people are seeing, that are now becoming dream clients in training, who get into your world. And I'm going like way beyond in the deep stuff of it, but just that alone, let's call it a $5,000 program. Let's make some money on it. So let's say it took you 3 months of an hour a day based on your $50 an hour that you're worth to get a $5,000 client. And this is where, people don't really, if they're looking at it, they're like, wait, this is taking way too long. I'm not making enough money. Well, that's only one client. And what happens if during the time of 3 months that you were doing the stuff, that you bring people into your world, they get your lead magnet or your gifts, and they're on your list and all that kind of stuff, but you only get one client? It's all of those other people that are dream clients in training that you now have in your world that may become clients later on.
And that's what this is all about, Joey. I mean, we're 22 minutes and we're number 2 already. So
I know. So we got to roll here.
It's going to be on number 4, and it's going to be 8:30.
It's okay. That's the top of the hour. Isn't 8:30 the top of the hour?
Always is the top of the hour.
Kay is always right here. How much you're willing to invest in serving those potential clients too, because I think that's a really great point, Kay, and that everybody needs to hear, is that the sale doesn't end when they give you your credit card. Like, the sale begins at that point, or whatever you want to call it. The serving begins then, and it should be, that's the point of like where it maximizes. So it's the hockey stick. That's when everything just goes through the roof on your part to serve the client even more, not to get them. And that's old mentality too. Like, let's get them in, let's close them, and send them off, and they're on their own. That's not what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Number 2, 3.
Yeah, I totally agree with what Kay said. Yeah, this is where you need to invest. It's not the other stuff that they're telling us to do. Number 3.
Go ahead, Scott.
The first version was a prospect who finds you first is more likely to buy from you than if you find them. And of course, a dream client who finds you first is more likely to buy from you than if you find them. You prove it all the time. It just is. I don't think I've ever gone out since I've been online in the last, I don't know how many years, and gone out to find a dream client. They find me. They contact me. Why? Because of number 1 and number 2. It leads to number 3. And the more you do number 1 and number 2, it's going to lead to number 3. They are going to find you. And again, just look in the group. Look at how many people are joining. Why are there 10, 15, 20 people a week joining? Because Joey is not doing any cold outreach. Joey is just showing up, and he's investing his time in serving. And, they don't talk about it in here, but I'm going to bring this in, and because I wrote about this today, is you talk about dream clients, and then you talk about dream clients, and you talk about dream clients. And when you're talking about dream clients, you talk about dream clients.
Right.
And that came from developing it over, I've watched it the last few years where it was this and this. And so most of you on this call are going to be so far ahead of Joey, because it took him a couple of years, even though he knew dream clients a few years ago. It took him a while to realize that's all I need to talk about, and then I could talk about everything else.
That's right. Thank you for bringing that up, Scott. Brilliant. I'll let you take this one too.
Number 4, you will dramatically enhance your credibility as a salesperson by authoring, speaking, and publishing quality information. As a heart-centered change maker, you will dramatically enhance your credibility as a fiduciary by authoring, speaking, and publishing quality guidance and insight.
Right on.
That is really huge. I know we had this topic came up last week about guiding and in inspiring and influencing, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's not about, like, people don't want information anymore. They want guidance and insight. That's where everything is going, if you haven't already figured it out. They want knowledge, it's fine. They still need information, but they need to know how to use that information, and they need guidance in order to use it. And they also, which a lot of marketers, online peeps, whatever, business owners do not give, which is insight. And like Scott and I, that's all we have is insight. Like, you ask us a question and we'll give you insight, whether sometimes you ask for it or not. Like,
that's the thing too, Joey. And I told you, I did some body work this week with my structural energetic therapist, and I had some blockage of chakras, and I won't get into that whole thing. But part of it was, she said to me, I'm sensing something about guidance and insight. And I was like, I don't know where that came from, because that's what I talked about last week. Well, I know where it came from, because people
come on.
come in, they want our guidance and they need our insight to pull out of them what's in there. They need the guidance on, somebody posted in the group today that they needed a mindset change. They wanted to be more of a family person. They didn't want to work as much in this. And I'm like, that's Atlas. And so it comes down to the guidance and insight. It's not the knowledge, because I could go look up anything and find it on the internet and buy all kinds of crap, but you can't go get the guidance and insight, especially somebody that leads the pack and is doing things differently, and that you come to know, like, and trust.
Yeah. And by the way, these questions or these rules come from Perry Marshall's 80/20, what's it called? Sales and Marketing book, which is an amazing book, by the way. And we're just updating it for this tribe. It's not that these are any wrong. And I love Perry. He's a brilliant marketer. Just in case you're just joining us, that's where it is. I forgot to put the credit on the slides. So I just wanted to give credit where credit is due.
One thing about you, Joey, is you have, from the day I met you, always given credit. You have never, ever, ever, ever taken credit for anything. Even if it's your idea, you don't take credit for
it. Well, thanks, man. Thank you. Because I'm pretty sure most of my ideas come from somebody else somewhere. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I made that up or not.
Well,
but thank you.
Most things come from a book that a few thousand years ago anyway.
For sure, yeah.
Go back and look at the Bible. You can probably find stuff that says, don't beat people up. And anyway.
So true. Oops, why didn't that work? Okay, something didn't work here. That's not good. Okay, let me see here what's going on. Okay. This one here, number 5, is generate dream clients in training. That should be bold, by the way, with upfront steps about solving problems, not information about the product itself. So again, I'm not a big fan of the word leads. I actually hate the word leads. And I am looking for dream clients in training, people who can become a dream client. And the way that you do that, in my opinionated knowledge, is to give them the upfront steps about solving a immediate problem. And they don't care about Atlas. They don't care about the landing page opt-in formula that you're doing, Scott. They don't care about that. They care about, how do I get opt-ins, right? So how can we give them the steps up front to help them move to the next phase?
And Joey, this is a huge piece, because people are so afraid of solving the problem and giving away their best stuff
Right.
because I gave you an example today. I did a live a couple of weeks ago, a similar live that I did for the group a few weeks back, where I taught people the 5 major elements of the landing page opt-in formula. And then I did a landing page review. And one guy, he came on, he watched it. He redid his entire page. It almost looked exactly like the opt-in that I gave him, and I was so happy. And then when I did the review and I had him change it again, he came back and he said, I learned so much. And I said, well, what happened? He said, I got 27 quality opt-ins this week.
Wow.
Now, people are going to say, well, Scott, you solved his problem. He got 27 quality opt-ins. Why would he need you? Well, maybe he doesn't. But guess what? What does he do now? And what's the next step? And what is his next landing page? Or what is his offer? Or what is his copy? Or what is his sales letter? Or what is his funnel? Or what is the journey that he takes on? And how does he build his list and his dream clients? And again, you do the exact same thing here is you bring people into a Facebook group, which is free. You give them information to help them solve problems, which is free.
Yeah.
And along the line, you tell them about things that you have that will enable them to make their transformation quicker, easier, deeper, better, which is right marketing copy and Atlas and Elite and all the other things. And it's not rocket science if people would just watch what you did. If people
and like what you did, because you're like, okay, well, you just proved to this guy that he can get quality leads by doing the changes, by listening to you. I love that. I mean, that's one of my favorite new lines is like, thank you for listening to me. Not because we think we're the best, but it's like, thank you for listening to what I told you and you went out and go do it. And now you've seen the results. And what that is doing is it's just like, hey, go try this little thing. Do you like the way it tastes? Okay, it's down this aisle and it's right over there and you want to go buy it. The Costco method, right? Here's demonstration. And that's what we're doing. And now you're right that person is going to hopefully come back to you and say, how else can you help me? Or when you do offer a whatever extended landing page or a funnel building course or something like that, he's going to go, I'm in.
Exactly, Joey. And that's another key point that I want to solidify is you say upfront steps. You give them the great stuff. Digital marketer Ryan Dice, he always talked about splinter out and give them your best stuff. And then because they have their best stuff doesn't mean they have all of your stuff. And there's so much stuff that we have to offer. And what happens when I come out and say, I could probably do my landing page opt-in formula live again, and the guy would probably come and take it because the value, the addition of, what's he going to get? Well, he's going to get me. He's going to get to be hanging out with me, and he already got that. We've kind of talked about that. Is if you and I said we're doing a live event, people would come to hang out with us. Forget about it. They just would want to hang out with us because they want to see what we were like. Because as we've talked about, you and I are like this on the show. You and I are like this when we chat on Zoom. You and I are like this when we're talking to our clients, when you're doing your calls, when I'm doing mine. There's no difference. And so, people want to hang out with people. They want to hang out on the Dream Island. So I think we're at number 6 now, Joey?
Yeah, we're ripping through these. So that's all. We catch up, man. We're all good. And the Costco method. That's what it's like. The Costco method.
Well, that's Chick-fil-A built an entire company based on that. Here, have a taste of our crispy chicken. It's like, that was good. Oh, right behind me, you can get a sandwich now. And boom, they built a huge empire.
Yep. Oh, dang it. I don't know why it's not working right. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Okay. So you can attain the best offer position with customers only when your marketing generates a connection to their true desire. That was a big one for me to replace. So it was more of, I'm not sure I like the word negotiating a sales position and a deal flow that exceeds your capacity, because as you know, if you're new to my world, this might be new to you, but if you're not new to our world and what we're talking about here is I'm all about the dream business and reducing the amount of people that you're working with and relationships and all this, not about having hundreds of thousands of people in your world, not because for any other reason that the way to truly serve people is by having human one-on-one relationships. And those one-on-one relationships can be multiple, 10 at a time, 20 at a time, but you can't it's impossible to do 1,000 relationships and serve those people. And to me it's about serving those one-on-ones in the most positive way that they will continue to buy from you. And we went through a couple of these already because they know that you care for them and they are number one in your world, that they're not just a number. So this is
Joey, the challenge with that whole piece that you just talked about is if you want to build a business that serves hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of people, you've got to have layers of employees and teams and systems and processes and this. And there's just so much when you can say like, yeah, I don't feel like getting up today. I don't have to do anything until 2:00 when I need to get on a call because I've got my peeps, I've got my tribe. And when we actually market this way, and we don't have to blow ourselves up. And again, I'm going to go back to, because I'm reading this every night, is
the practice.
Seth Godin's The Practice. Yeah. He talks about this jazz musician who, I think it's in Chicago. The name of the place is the Green Mill. And Monday nights from 7 to 10, if you are not a jazz aficionado, if you do not love jazz, then don't go there, because there's only 100 seats. And every Monday night, 100 people show up to listen to what this jazz musician plays. And she plays what she wants because she is passionate about it. And yeah, she could go on tour and she could play all kinds of halls and that, but you know what? She wants to show up and do her best and play her jazz for those people who show up, those 100 people who are her dream client. And the same way, and Shara says this process is just so friendly and personal, because it is.
Yep. Thank you for that, Shara. Petra. Oh, when you're having a barbecue with his boys live. Oh yeah, for sure. This is another part of dream clients. Like, who would you invite over for a barbecue, even though they're not paying an admission to get into your backyard, right? Yeah. It's like, come on over. We're having barbecue. You want to join us? It's going to be amazing. And there's no gathering. Remember what is it? The old, you invite your friends over and you do the MLM sales pitch thingy. Remember those days? You'd like, how was the transition, bro? Oh my God. What was the transition to the sale?
Opportunity I want to share with you. And bro, there is, there is a guy that wrote a very popular book out there. And I'm not going to say his name and I'm not going to say the book, but years ago, when I was in the speaking industry, and this dude invited me to one of these things, and he didn't tell me what it was, and he picked me up and we went, and I was livid.
Yeah.
I was like, really? Come on. And then he wrote a book that became very popular, and I don't say it but it was just, I have an opportunity that I think you'd be interested in.
Oh my God. Yeah. So it's not what this is all about at all. And you give more value and more quality that way. Yes, for sure. By just giving. I said it a few times before that, like, I got asked actually on the Kajabi Mastermind on Friday. By the way, I want to give a shout out to Kajabi and the entire crew, especially Megan, who helps me Fridays. The first Friday of every month, I am live with Kajabi doing a live mastermind coaching thing. Again, giving to the community because they have a beautiful, amazing community there. And
Joey, I want to stop you because I can. And
okay.
say that as an example, we talked about 123 weeks ago you're like, hey, bro, you want to do a show on marketing? I'm like, yeah, sure. Hey, bro, you want to help moderate the group? Yeah, sure. There was no plan. There was no, okay, we're going to do this and we're going to have this many ads. We're going to have this many KPIs and clicks and conversions and this and that. And what do you mean we haven't had this many people? How come, like, come on, Joey, how come we haven't had, 6,000 people sign up for the.
Yeah, I'm done. Like, it's been 3 weeks, bro. I'm out.
I'm out. This is not what I signed up for. And over the years, I've watched you just go give value. And as you found more clarity, in the beginning, you talked about a lot of stuff in there and you helped people and you always did and you served. And then when it kind of just became, I'm just talking about Dream Client. I'm just talking about Dream Client. And then people were just like loving it. And then what happened was, again, you and I never talked about a plan. You never said, hey, Scott, here's my plan. I'm going to go into the Kajabi group and I'm going to do this and that. And my plan is within 6 months, this is going to happen. And then I'm going to get friendly with this person and this person. And then I'm going to do this and I'm going to see. No. And it was, you just kept providing value and you shared your knowledge and wisdom. And I haven't said this in a while, but one of Joey's superpowers that he doesn't talk about often is his ability to osmosize knowledge and take it and osmosize it, but then cull it down to its smallest little piece and bring it back out. Like, you don't have to go read this book, The 80-20 by Perry Marshall, because these are the 7 things in it. It's kind of like I tell a lot of people about the book. Does it make the boat go faster? I say, you don't got to read the book. Here's the title and here's the thing. And what are you going to do about it? And you take the best of the best that makes sense and apply it so people don't have to do that. And people get so much value of just that from you. Forget about the Atlas and all the elites and the process and the WMCs and all the other initials.
Right.
It's how you show up and just watch it. It's kind of like an overnight success. It takes time. People are like, well, of course. Well, Joey's the Kajabi guy and he does the thing with Dream Client. Well, Joey started out years back just going in. And when people asked a question, with his expertise, he gave the answer. I've shared how I used to do that. When I first, it was like, I didn't know Kajabi, but I knew marketing and I knew funnels and I knew copy. And back then it'd be like, hey, let me answer that question for you and help you out. Let me jump on a Zoom and help you out.
Yeah.
And then, I didn't do it with a discovery clarity. It was like, no, you can't hire me. No, you can't see my stuff. I just wanted to help you and serve you. It's a different world now because we can say, yeah, you want to jump on a call. Let me see how I can help you. And even at the end, they're going to say, you're not going to sell me? Why should I? I wanted to help you and serve you. And well, what do you got? Well, I think I've got this thing called Atlas or the landing page opt-in formula, or this thing, or my coaching program, or I could help you out if that's you feel that it's going to work for you. If not, it's like, well, I could teach you how to, this many this and all the crap that's going on out there that people are Facebooking and messaging and bots and crap that they get you into their Facebook group, and in the questions it's like, do you want to make this much money serving this and that? And you go, yeah. And then they're like, well, you said in the questions that you wanted to make this. Are you ready to get on a call? No.
Exactly. Yeah.
You invited me to your group.
Yeah.
You want to sell me something?
Yeah, that's basically how it goes. It just pisses me off.
It's like, hey, come hang out. We talk about it. Come hang out in the Heart-Centered Marketing Club. Be part of the tribe. Get support. Get your answers. Improve your life. And there is some things that and you've heard me talk about this, there is a transformational investment that needs to take place, in my opinion.
It's when in our world, it's when they are ready. That's the whole key. When they are ready to do it. Like when I start off today's call, when I mentioned the dude who had the call about Atlas today, that person, I can't remember how long ago we had a first call, and it was a clarity call in this case. I don't do a lot of them, but when people want them, okay, I'll get on and help you out. But there was no sale at the end, and just wanted to know more about Atlas. But it wasn't like, yeah, well, the deadline's happening, we're closing and all this kind of stuff. And it was like, here you go. Let me know if you ever have any questions. And here we are. It's got to be at least 3 months, if not more, that person first did it. And here he is 3 months later, ready to invest in Atlas, right? And there was no there was no squeeze campaign that he went into
Right.
to try and like, hey man, I got on the call last week. Are you sure you're gonna do none of that crap? It was just value, 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 value until again an email went out and he said, wait a minute, I think I just want to know a little bit more about Atlas now. I'm ready. And that's it. It's and I forgot what I was gonna say about the Kajabi. It'll come back up because there was something that was asked that I was trying to make a point on. But
You
thank
were
you for interrupting.
I interrupted you, but you were making a point that on the call somebody was asking a question. But
Yeah, and I
I don't.
can't remember what it was in related to. Hopefully, my ADD will come back and remind me about it. But it was important to what I were talking about. But it was a good interruption, so it's cool. Thank you for saying all of that. I love you for that. Thank you for bringing that up.
The other thing too, Joey, is for those, and there's quite a few new people on the call or people that have just joined recently, is go find every email Joey sends, print it out, put it in a folder, put it in a swipe file. Go sign up for everything Joey has. He's not going to sell you stuff, but watch how he writes emails. Watch
Thanks, man.
how he engages people. Watch how he does everything we're talking about here. He serves. It's brilliant. And I'm gonna pull this out again, Joey, because I have this here, and it is the Ragona email.
See, like that's what thank you for saying this, Scott. And that's what I love about you too. Is like you actually, when you're saying something, it kind of sometimes sounds like I'm paying you to say it, but then it's not. It's like you have the actual binder, and even when you have the Superpower Matrix, you're like, dude, it's like right here. I'm telling you, use the Superpower Matrix, and then you pull it out, and you're like, look, I use the dang thing right here. And look, like, where is it? You got it right there. It is. See,
Superpower Matrix that I use, and then I told you the other day because it took up too much ink, I redid it. If you see the title, it says From Joey Ragona's Superpower, because it's brilliant. And then I'll look at something and go, I want to do a video today, and I'm going to do it on I don't know, on going 21 levels deep. That's on here. So today I'm going to talk to you about going 21 levels deep, and I believe that's one of the easiest ways to help people out to go back to guidance and insight and intuition is by asking them a question after question. It's a parrot method. And I'll teach you that. Boom, that's done. I'm done with that video. I could make 100 videos based on the Superpower Matrix.
Exactly.
That's what I'm about to teach people. I did 27 videos on how to use your phone to make videos. And then I did a video on how to make a video real quick using the 5 elements. And it's like 4 minutes to teach them the whole process so they can go out and do it. What we talk about, go out and give value. And it's about what we do here that follows these. So I think we're on number 7, right?
We're getting close. I just want to give some props out here because Anne is spewing out some brilliance here. I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway.
Doing one of me equals 10 people. And Joey, here we go. The practice again. How do cowboys herd 1,000 heads of cattle? They don't. They herd 10 cattle. And those cattle herd 100, and those 100 herd the rest.
Right. Exactly.
Here, we herd 10 dream clients who then go in the group. Watch what happens when a newbie joins. Now all of a sudden it's like boom, 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 boom. Everybody's helping out. Everybody's pushing them and giving them the methodology. And Shara has to go. She has to grandkids. Thanks for joining us, Shara.
No worries, Shara. But yeah, I want to speak to this too because I'm asked all the time about how can I get whatever 100 leads or 1,000 people in my program or whatever, and I said you don't. Like you get one.
Right. You get one.
And they're like, what are you talking about? Like it starts with one. Everything starts with one. And then you ask, how can I, if it's a dream client, is like, okay, how do I carbon copy this? How do I duplicate this person? And maybe that person knows somebody who's like them. And it all starts there. And if you just look at, if you condense it down to the simplicity of building, do you remember that commercial? You tell one person, that person tells another person, and those 2 people tell another 2 people. Remember that commercial? And they would multiply the box thingy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's just, you just start simple for you. And then, like you said, that now Anne is a advocate of me or Atlas or whatever it is. Thank you, Anne. I love you. You know I do. You're amazing. And there's no, I didn't say, hey, Anne, can you go out and tell 10 other people about this stuff? It's that it just automatically happens, not because only the thing works. It's because a lot of stuff we really haven't unpacked yet, really in 120 episodes yet, which I think we should really unpack, is something like you said before, which is like if we had an event, people would come to like see us. I don't know if that's really true. I think what they come for is the community that we attract, that we
Right.
build. And they're not coming to see us. They're
Oh.
coming to be with the community that
Yeah.
we've built and helping them connect with those people, right? Do you agree with that? So it's a little different of a shift. Like we're not the heroes, they are the heroes.
No, again, it's being in that energy, in that space. I remember
Yeah.
in the speaking world when video teleconferencing first came out, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, the industry's dead." I was like, "No, it's not. People are not going to want to sit in a hotel room watching a screen of some dude or dudette in another hotel room somewhere else." And it died. It fizzled out because people want to be, you want to sit there and be next to Anne and Petra and Lorna and Shara and Monica and everybody. And you want to be part of it. And you want to go hang out with them. And you want to socialize with them. And you want to network with them. And you want to find out that it's not about us. It's about hanging out with the community, the tribe.
Yeah, we're just the quote unquote leaders who are able to bring the tribe together so the relationships connect on their own. Like, dude, I can imagine, like, I can see it in my head right now, like the Petras and the Carolines and the Anns and the Lornas and all these people that walk into the room, the doors open. I can just see it. The doors open to the first day, and all we would see are people hugging each other.
Yep.
That's all we would see. It wouldn't be like people rushing to the seats. It would be like, oh my God, right? There's Lorna. There's Petra. Like, it would be holy crap.
There's this one. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That's why you go to those things, is to be around the people. Yeah.
Well, not those things. These things. This is a different tribe than just those things. Like, there are workshops that are amazing, but they're not the same. Like, I've been to a lot of them where it's great. You get to meet people and stuff like that. But you know, when the doors open, you're going to find your seat, and then you might converse and stuff like that. Yeah. This would be a totally different environment. It would be like, we don't care about the seats. I just want to, where's the people that are in my tribe that I want to go and say hi and hug. That's what I see. And correct me if I'm wrong. And I know some of you are here. So let me know if that would be true. Like, what would be the first thing that you would want to do if you came to an event that Scott and I did?
Well, you know, Joey, right? the pre-event thing would be the biggest. It wouldn't be the opening. Yeah. You know, it wouldn't be the seminars. It would be, I got to get there for the event. Lorna said, I'd be looking for hugs. Exactly.
Yeah. And so back to this, the key is always to show up and serve. You're absolutely right. Many people don't. You make a difference by simply being helpful. You're right. And that's okay. Thank you, Anne. I love you. You just triggered what I wanted to say. Okay, this was it. It was when in Kajabi, they asked me, like, what was the difference? Like, what snowballed for you? What helped you snowball into the business that you are right now? Like, what was it? And I said it was very simple. It was, when I made the choice to stop selling, to let go of money. That was it. It was like, no longer is the getting up and how am I going to sell something today? That was no longer the goal. It was, how do I get up and serve today? That's it. And that mental shift changed everything for me. And I know that you are way ahead of me on this one, Scott.
That's okay. You get to catch up sometimes, and I get
to But speak to that for a second.
What do you want me to speak to?
What I just said. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, you said, when did it all change for me? When I stopped selling. Yeah, I listen to you sometimes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you were with us.
Yeah, I'm still here. Thanks, Joey. For anybody listening, when you finally have the mindset shift that says, I'm not going to sell anymore. I'm just going to serve. Pillar number 2, serve, don't sell, because serving is actually selling. What you and I do every week, what you and I do all the time in serving is selling, because when you serve and truly help people and you go out and you solve their problems and you get them to where they want to be, they don't need to be sold. They're going to themselves say, if this is actually what this dude gives away for free, what would actually happen if I invested in this program, if I became part of the tribe, the community? And again, the investment for the dream client in training in the beginning is not a monetary investment. It's the investment in the tribe. And we watch the newbies come in and we watch them answer the questions. We watch them get excited. And some of them stay and ascend, and others of them just disappear. They get all excited, but for some, it's just not fast enough.
Right.
It's, when do I, like I said, Joey, we've been on the show for 3 weeks and we've been doing the group for 3 weeks. When are we going to sell something? We have never used this to sell anything. We don't say, okay, Joey, we got 4 minutes left. Let's get to the value stack. Let's get to
where's the call to action button?
Call to action button that they've got to go so they can get into the sequence to get in before they buy them. And most of you that have been on the calls for a while know that every other week I sold something in my software company, and I was always selling and I was always selling something, and it was draining beyond belief. In the last 6 weeks, life has been so much easier when I just transitioned. And Joey, it only took him like 118 weeks to finally get me to listen, to where it'd be like, you know what? Maybe I should really practice what we're preaching.
And I'll say it to you. Thank you for listening to me.
Because you're always right. And
it's not I'm always right, but in this case, it looks like I was.
What Ann just said here. This goes back to what I talked about earlier, which was investing, and posted every day in a group for 30 days. No offer, no call to action, simply help. 28 days in, she had a new client in her main program.
Right. And so, Ann, let me ask you this. What would happen if you didn't get that client in 28 days? What would you do? And post that in the group so everybody knows, because I already know what the answer is. And while you do that, we'll go on to number 7, because I know Scott's freaking out.
Ann gets 100 points.
Yeah, she said exactly. Winner, winner, chicken dinner for Ann today. Here's number 7.
Winner,
where are you, number 7?
Chicken dinner.
There we go. The most valuable asset you can own is a well-maintained dream client database. I forgot to bold that one too. Because people who've already bought from you are way easier to invite to the next step of the journey than strangers. Let's talk about that one.
That's a no-brainer. I mean, that's that's the basic premise of what? There's only 3 ways to sell or get customers.
No, to build a company.
Build a company is get more customers, get them to come back more often, and get them to spend more, increase the size of the sale. And I remember, Joey, when I was traveling the world doing seminars, and that's all I ask people is, how many people on your list? Where is your list? How often do you talk to your list? Most people's lists were sitting in a file cabinet. They got a customer, they sold them, and then they went and got another customer. And then they went and got another customer. And they had this huge list of people that had already given them money, that knew them, liked them, trusted them enough to open up their wallet and say, here's money. And they never went back and gave them an opportunity to buy something. And that's what this piece is about. And again,
but that's why I disagree with you that it is not, what's the word you said? No-brainer. It's not a no-brainer, because people don't get it.
Well, I know they don't get it because it is too simple.
It's a no-brainer for you and I, and for people who understand this. It's not that everybody's not, they're not less intelligent or whatever, but they're so brainwashed in terms of just go and fill the funnel, the front end of the funnel, the front end of the funnel, and brainwashed in terms of like, well, they didn't buy within a week. I gave them my PDF. They didn't buy. That means they're dead leads. I got to go get more leads. Where they're forgetting about the entire 18-month lag period of them becoming dream clients. That they're like, well, just continue to serve those people. They're not ready yet. But no, they're brainwashed to go over here, and it's not their fault. It's it's our expert world's fault.
Well, Joey, I will give you just a well-maintained dream client database, and that's I said earlier, it's coming time soon to thin out that database because there's probably some stuff in there of people that maybe really aren't dream clients or dream clients in training. They came in for some reason, and then they're like, nah, this isn't for me, and they haven't done anything. They haven't replied to an email. They haven't clicked in anything. Not that they haven't bought anything, because
that's so important. I want to make sure that we say that, because it's more about the engagement and helping, being in the group, asking questions, whatever it is, so we can do our job and serve.
It has nothing to do with they haven't bought yet.
Right.
They haven't engaged in anything. They haven't engaged in an email. They haven't engaged in a show. They haven't engaged in the group. They haven't responded. They haven't done anything.
Even just give a like to somebody who's posting in the group that says, here's my Friday win. Like, at least give a like or say congratulations or something like that to show that you are there to support the tribe. And that's what it's all about. That's what we're here to do. And so, there's too many people who join a group who just like, oh, here's another group that's going to sit there and whatever. And that's not what we're about. We're about helping.
People join a group and wait for the opportunity to pounce.
If they have malicious stuff to come in there and poach from groups, that's another whole other topic. But I don't think we really have too much trouble with that. But
no, I don't.
It's the non-engagement. Like, we're not looking for people to just sit there and not do anything. And again, it's not about coming in and they have to be like right on it and engage and do all these other things. I get it. You're getting to feel out the tribe, but holy crap, like 3-6 months in, at least give a like on something. Like, give some support to somebody. Right.
You post every day, don't you?
Every day.
I think, you post every day. If somebody in the course of a couple of months hasn't had one, and Facebook's making it even easier now. They're giving you all kinds of funky characters now that you can click on. If you haven't done anything, then you're not going to do anything. You're not going to be a valuable part of the tribe. And Ann answered by saying, I keep posting. Doesn't matter, because dream clients are always watching. Yep. Simply by posting, I build visibility and credibility.
I love you, Ann. I knew you'd say that. That's exactly it.
Back to, you'll increase your credibility and fiduciary by authoring, speaking, and publishing solutions.
Yeah.
Not quality information. That maybe 10 years ago, 40 years ago, which is what 10 is, 40 years, information is important to post, but not anymore, because I find everything I need. I don't find guidance, and I don't find insight and intuition.
Right.
That's what people need.
Yeah, it's huge. And you're right. That's exactly what people are looking for. And they don't know that, but when you give it to them, they know it. Like, they're like, holy crap, I'm not getting. There's something I like about this cohort or this whatever, this program, that I'm not getting anywhere else. And it's because of your expertise and your insight. That's why I am not a big fan of the old saying, like, just be one chapter ahead. That doesn't work anymore. It's more of, okay, you have to be a couple chapters ahead, or even if you are one chapter ahead, fine, but you still have to have the experience and you have to have the insight. It's no longer about, well, let me regurgitate this information you haven't read yet and look like a superstar, because that doesn't work anymore.
You can't catch me as you can anymore.
Right.
Catch me if you can. The
story
of I forgot his name. I used to have it in my head, but the guy who impersonated everybody, and he physics professor one chapter ahead. Now it ain't good enough. I can't be one chapter ahead. I have to have the experience, the wisdom, the knowledge. I got to be able to guide and give insight and intuition into pulling it out of them.
Yeah. And that's where the Superpower Matrix comes in, because and I think with Caroline's post, this in the group that we started this conversation with was about that. It was like, okay, step away from the what for now, and step into the who, and
Yeah,
then have conversations like this where you could see patterns that people are talking about that they're struggling with, that eventually triggers something that you're like, wait a minute, I'm kind of really good at that, and I've had experience in that, and maybe if they're asking about this, I can help them there. So
yeah,
it's about those things that the program or whatever it is, the stuff that you're doing, the niche, the stuff, whatever
yeah.
becomes, it emerges from those conversations. And this is the counterintuitive thing where people are looking for, okay, I've created this thing, how do I get more people, how do I get people to buy it? Where I'm saying, okay, well, go have one conversation with one person at a time, and the thing will emerge so that you can sell, that you don't have to sell because they're asking for it. But it's like they get stuck on the wait, one person at a time. Wait, oh, hey, I need to have like 100 people coming in and buying this thing. Well, I didn't say having one conversation forever, but yeah, it starts out with the unscalable. In my world, that's the way I truly believe, that it starts out with doing the unscalable. And the thing that we have at our um the asset we have as entrepreneurs or starting this business is what everybody thinks they don't have. Do you know what that is?
I don't know, Joe. You got me.
Time. Everybody thinks they don't have time, but that's the only thing that we have at beginning our business is time. The reason why people think they don't have time is because they don't know what to do with that time. They're scattered all over the place, but if they used it strategically in order to build the relationships or have conversations or whatever, they've got they've got an asset that people who are now scaling of the thousands of relationships and everything. I'm not saying never go there, but I'm saying those people can't do that. Those people cannot have one-on-one conversations anymore, and they eventually have to build teams and all that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying that at our discretion or disposal right now, we have the ability to do the things that nobody else can really do or is unwilling to do, which is the unscalable, the things that cannot be scaled. And you just proved it by saying, well, Joey, you're in there every day posting or whatever it is. Yeah, it's me doing it. I don't have other people doing that. I don't have other people. Right. And again, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but at this point, I'm investing time to build those relationships, to build the tribe. So then the tribe eventually does everything itself. And it's a self fulfilling prophecy or whatever it is, if that's a good thing.
That's what it is. You're absolutely right, Joey. And again, we could go out and find 10 other people who have a different model philosophy of making money online. And guess what? They're right in their way.
Yeah,
Then
no doubt.
it goes to what we're talking about is we don't want the masses. The masses is not what we're looking for. You want your tribe of people, and we've talked about this. How many people do you actually need who give you two, three, five, 10,000, whatever your number is? If it's 2,000 and you had 100 people, that's 200,000. If it's 10,000 and you had 50 people, that's a half a million. What's the number? How many do you actually need? The other way, you've got to have, I just did some numbers for something, and in one particular business, last the revenue for 2021 was $66,770. But what it took to do that was selling a crap load of stuff all the time, as opposed to I could do that with a dozen people this year.
Exactly. For the whole
Not,
year. And
yeah,
you know, um, you buy back your time.
yeah,
Like
that,
when people say to me, like, what do you do? I still have trouble with what do I do if they're not in our tribe.
right.
But part of what I do is I give people their life back.
Yep.
That's what
You,
I do because they're sacrificing their life for all this other stuff. And yeah, you could turn around and tell me, I made $1 million this year. Well, what did it take to do that?
yeah,
Like what broke in your life in order for you to do that?
exactly.
And that to me is like my purpose. As you know, that we've talked about that many, many times. Um, I'm hoping that this is getting through to people at 123 episodes in, that this is what it's about, is having awesome relationships to build your business so you don't have to sell at all. and you go out and serve in the thing that you love to do, right? Because that's what we do every day. That we're here every Tuesday night. It's the end of the day for us, and we're still here. We're energized, and we're doing this thing. And it's not like, man, I'm not getting any ROI out of this. This is crazy.
Joey, years back when I was in the speaking industry, I didn't know the term then, and I didn't intentionally. I had dream clients. I mean, I had, 5, 6 Fortune 100 companies that just like treated me like a rock star, paid me a lot of money, and it was all the same thing we're talking about. And I went and did what I love. They flew me and picked me up and wined me and dined me and took care of everything and paid me a lot of money to go talk to people. Same thing we're still doing today. And nothing's changed. I didn't know they were dream clients. I didn't intentionally. It was the same thing happening. I got one, and then I got two, and then I got three. I never went out and said, I want to have 500 of these. I had 3 or 4 top companies that I don't throw the names out, but everybody would know them. And I didn't need to do much of anything. There was one company one time that called me up and said, somebody from Florida called us and said we should hire you. Somebody from Washington, D.C. and somebody from Cincinnati said we should hire you. Would you do 52 cities for us? And I was like, what do I have to do? Well, we'll fly you to the city. You'll get picked up. You'll get put up in a hotel. You get driven around. We'll feed you all that. You'll do a program, and you could sell anything you want from.
Are they so? Let me challenge this for a second. Were they ideal clients, which there's nothing wrong with? Or are they dream clients, which means that you would still have those people over for dinner?
They were ideal clients.
Right. So there's a difference. I want to make sure that because it's, and again, there's nothing wrong with it because they paid you a lot of money, they whatever. And I don't want to get them mixed up. Like a dream client is not about the money. They're able and willing to pay you the money and all that stuff, but it's not about that. Like an ideal client fits the model. It's like, this is amazing. They're ideal clients. It fits this, but you wouldn't invite them over for dinner. You wouldn't spend your life with them on a deserted island.
Now there were one or two of all of them that were.
Okay, that's fair enough.
But for the most part, they were, but still the same philosophy, just one step below the dream client methodology.
Right.
Was still the same philosophy of it's what I love to do.
Yeah.
It's, what do you love to do so much that you do it for free? Well, I love talking to people about marketing, mindset, and systems. And guess what? We do it for free every Tuesday night here on Heart-Centered Marketing Made Easy.
Yeah, and I think what you just said is important because that's a phrase that comes out a lot of times, and I think it needs spotlight, which is, what do you love to do that you would do it for free? Okay, then they answer, and then the next thing is go do it for free.
Right.
And that's the piece that we add. Because before it was like, well, what would you like to do if you would do it for free? Well, it would be this. Okay, great. Then go build a business around that and get money for that. No, it's now, what would you do for free? Go start doing that for free.
Start doing it, which goes to these 7 pieces we just talked about tonight, which is go out and show up and serve and do what Ann did and post solutions to problems for 30 days and go help people and give value and don't expect anything. Just like, again, I'll go back to the practice. It's about the practice. It's not about the outcome.
Isn't that a great book?
Wow.
Dude, it's my favorite book of his, I think, so far.
It really is. And I'm sad because I'm coming to the end of it.
Yeah.
And I just, I love the fact that it's not chapters, but it's like, okay, number 68.
Yeah.
And it's 2 paragraphs at most. And it's just, that whole idea is in that. And I don't have to read 14 pages to get the gist of what he's talking about.
Maybe we should unpack that one next week.
Okay.
Because I've got my notes on it, and maybe you've made some notes, and maybe we'll just unpack it. Maybe pick your top 5. I'll pick my top 5, and we'll kind of run through them.
And you mean where I plan something in advance?
Yeah, like let's kind of think ahead. I'll probably forget to put it in my Evernote here. Like, what are we going to talk about today? So,
well, I'll have the book finished, and I'll have to find 5 because I've got a lot more than 5.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
It's like I'm about to tomorrow go back to, again, who is your dream client and who is your ideal client? Who is your avatar? We've talked about it time and time again, and I'm about to do it again tomorrow. I'm going to say that again. I'm about to do it again tomorrow. I already know it, but guess what? I want to revisit it and make sure that it's crystal clear as I go out and start to do some new things I'm about to play with. Just because we've talked about it and we know it, I'm still going to go back and revisit. Yeah, we're talking about Seth Godin's The Practice. Yes, Ann.
Yeah, The Practice. Yeah.
We're going to unpack it next week. And guess what? You too can participate next week if you have read it or have it or get it, and share your favorite thingy. I don't know what he calls them. They're not chapters. They're just numbers, or whatever your favorite thing is in his book, The Practice. And we can have an awesome call next week.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Ever have awesome calls.
Yeah, but that's a great idea. Like, this is the first time we've ever given them homework. So let's do that. We'll give you some homework. And if you want to join the conversation, that'll be something we can do next week. And you're the best. I love it. You'll have a shower and do your hair. Is it the time of the month for that? I guess so.
Okay, as long as you have a shower and do your hair, Ann, and don't show what. Never mind. Ann and I had an intimate call today where she showed up quite interestingly, but I won't share that on live broadcast here because it's so sad a feeling when his book is coming to an end. Yeah, Petra, it is. So, Joey, we should post in the group that the homework assignment for next week is to find one thingy of The Practice of Seth Godin that you found the most helpful and why, and share it on the call next week so that we don't have to do all the heavy lifting.
I'll let you do that. I'll let you start that post. Since you came up with this brilliance. And
okay, fine.
See how I get out of my 4% and leave it to you.
Make me do something.
Oh, man. Amazing. Thank you for being here, Scott. Thank you for being here. If you're live with us now, #live, let us know. #replay if you're watching this replay and you've made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. And we're hoping that we're giving you value. And thank you for the smash on the hearts, the likes, and the comments and all these things. Totally appreciate that. And we hope to see you here again, maybe next week, and do some homework and join with us in the conversation. Thank you, Ann. And thank you, everybody, for the comments there and the lives. And we'll see you next Tuesday, which is the 4th. Hey, man, next Tuesday is my birthday. We're going to be broadcasting on my birthday. Woohoo!
Birthday, Joey. Holy crap.
I was just going to say, what is the next? Yeah, it's my birthday next week. It's a birthday week celebration next Tuesday. It's a special Marketing Made Easy. I just saw that.
Awesome.